What's up, guys? I got 5 things that are gonna help you. These things are gonna be very beneficial because they're actually things that I've actually personally went through, and I know for sure that these things are they're gonna help you if you're looking to get into real estate investing. And these are some of the 5 mistakes that I've made that cost me a lot of money that could have really set me off in a different path if I would have not been able to use some of my resources, use some of my problem solving skills, or whatever magical potion or whatever. I would have been in a bad spot. So number one is going to be location, right? So a lot of times whenever you get into real estate investing, a lot of it is off of emotion. Like it's just the excitement of being able to buy properties, and it's the excitement of going to look at properties. It's the excitement of having to, getting able to like start to build stuff and work with your hands, and just that it's an excitement, right? So whenever you feel that excitement or that adrenaline rush, you kind of don't want anything to kind of be in your way. You don't want any optimistic people. You don't want any things that might slow down that process of you getting into your first property, right? And that's just because like whenever you first started in real estate investing, like you're usually just working off of like emotional decisions, and that's kind of like one of the worst way to get into investing or to stay into investing, because you'll make a lot of mistakes. And in fact, now that I think about it, I have a couple of friends that got into real estate investing, and they went into real estate investing really making emotional decisions, really like just trying to make these big crazy do these big crazy projects. One of my friends, like really, he bought this house and he was gonna do a flip on it, and it was like 6 bedrooms, 2 bath, 2-car garage, 2-story. Like it was like he spent so much money on it. At the end, he ended up losing money. He almost like got it foreclosed because he couldn't make the payments. It was a nightmare, and he just wanted to go big, but he went big the wrong way. So, like I said, one of the things is going to be location, right? So a lot of times, whenever you're going to buy properties, you're trying to find the cheapest properties, and those properties are going to be in not the greatest locations. And so, one thing that you can actually ask yourself is say, okay, you know what? Would I be willing to live at this property? Because that's going to really give you an idea of what your tenant's going to look like, what to expect. Because if you think that I'm going to buy a property in this bad location, and yeah, the cash flow is good, but you have to remember all the problems that's going to come with that, right? So that's going to be very important. So look at the location. Don't focus so much on the cash flow in those bad locations. Worry about, okay, would I be willing to live here? What kind of tenant will I have? What kind of problems will I have? And those kind of situations, right? So that's tip number one. Tip number two is going to be something that I was kind of, I kind of avoided for a long time in my real estate career, because I felt it was something that was just wasting a lot of time. And I felt like that I kind of had like this gut feeling that I knew the property was good, and I can do, like, I felt like I had enough experience that I knew what to look for to determine if it was a good property or not, right? And it wasn't until I got further off in my career and I started buying like more and more properties, and I needed help. So I started to reach out to different realtors, and I actually became good friends with them, and I still work with some of those today. And what I do is I just kind of let them handle the negotiation part. I let them handle any kind of anything, paperwork or whatever, and I just check with them like weekly. Say, okay, where are we at on this property? What do you think about this property? Have we put the offers in on this property? And I just kind of follow up with them every week. But one of the most important things was inspections, right? So whenever I first got into real estate investing, I just wanted to hurry up and buy properties. I wanted to hurry up and get into the properties. I knew I was going to fix them up anyway, so I didn't really care about inspections. But after working with these realtors, they said, you know what? You should really get inspections, because a lot of them aren't, you don't have to pay for those. So the roofing, I know you have to pay for the plumbing, but like the termites, the AC check, there's a lot of inspections that you can get that'll really give you a better understanding of the property, right? And I didn't know about this until they educated me on this. And so moving forward, every property that we'll get an inspection just to get a better understanding, because Also, we're just looking at how we're gonna exit, right? Because if you buy a property and you don't know if it has foundation repairs or plumbing repairs, and you do some repairs on it and you want to flip it, and then you go to list it, and then they do inspections on it, you're gonna have to do those repairs, and you want to make sure that you catch those way before you list it, right? So anyway, inspections are going to be very important. Number 3 is going to be, what do I have here? Comps, right? One of our very first deals that we did was, we got in there and we had this big kind of optimistic thing. We're gonna fix it up, and we're gonna put granite, and we're gonna put, the raindrop shower heads, and we're gonna put LED lighting, and we're gonna just, LED like USB plugs, and we just kind of had all this crazy ideas, right? And what happens was we invested all this money into this property, and the property was overvalued for the area. Like, the property was too nice for the area, so we couldn't get what we put into it. So we almost lost on that. We made a small profit, but we learned a big lesson from that. So that's number 3 is going to be comps. Number 4 is going to be, and this is something that's going to be very, very powerful, is to screen your tenants, like a deep screen your tenants, and like credit, references of references, like just go deep as much as you can. It's going to save you a lot of time and a lot of headache. We're dealing with a couple of tenants right now that we wish we would have did this deep cleaning with, right? So these are real lessons that I'm going through, and I'm sharing them with you, right? Number 5. This is number 5. Number 5 is going to be, don't do a complete remodel, tear the walls out, re-elect, because that thing becomes a nightmare. One of my first properties, I had this big optimistic, I'm gonna do it all myself, right? We ended up tearing the sheetrock down. When we tore the sheetrock down, all the insulation fell out, and then the electrical fell out. Then we had to put new windows, new sidings. It was a mess, man. It was crazy. So hey guys, thank y'all for watching. Hey, subscribe to our channel, man. We have some great stuff coming out. I'm excited for 2021. Shoot me a message. Subscribe to our email list on the description, and I'll send you these notes if you want the notes. If you have any questions, reach out to me on Instagram, Facebook. Later, guys.